Hi and welcome to the second video in my series of the journey to Chrome. In this episode what I want to cover is the SMG rifles and how to get the diamond camo unlocked. What you need to do for that is for each of the different SMGs that are available, you need to get those up to the gold camo. Once you've got that, the diamond camo will then unlock. So let's take a look at the various SMGs that are available within the game. So at the top is the grease gun, then the PPSH-41, Type 100, WWII, M1928 and MP40. These are the only SMGs that you need to worry about within the game. Although there are the others there, they don't count towards unlocking diamond. You only need to worry about the guns that came with the game when it launched. So the first set of challenges you need to complete to get to gold are all about getting headshots. The frog skin camo is for 5 headshots, brown spot is for 10. Then there's Harry's Splitter Muster 31 for 15, Lieber Muster for 20, then there's P Pattern for 30, and then it's on to Oak Leaf for 40. After this, Palm Tree at 50, and then there's Platinum Muster for 75, and finally Ambush for 100 headshots. What's going to stop you getting those headshots is recoil. Here I've got a WWII armed, and you can see on the firing range here, as I fire, the sight just goes all over the place. It's completely unpredictable. It's what's called random recoil, and it's really difficult to control. Something you can do to help yourself out with this is to arm the grip attachment, and what that does is it reduces the amount of sway and judder and recoil as you're firing. And you can see this back on the firing range right here, where even though everything is still jumping around, it's not quite as bad as it was. A much more reliable way to control recoil is to burst fire, and you can see that here on the firing range. I'm only shooting a few shots at a time, and you can see there's much less drift and recoil as I shoot. So what other attachments should you arm for an SMG? Well, reflex sight is always a good idea. There's no 4x optic on SMGs, so a reflex sight is as good a sight as you can get. Also, I'd suggest arming extended mag, because the magazines on the SMGs are really small and you'll just be reloading all the time. Or, if you're pretty good at handling the recoil, then maybe you can get rid of grip altogether and instead arm something like FMJ, just to give you a bit more power. But my personal favourite when it comes to SMGs is to arm advanced rifling, especially when I'm going for the headshots. And this is because it gives you that increased range. And so if you combine that with the reflex sight to give you the best sight you can get for the SMG and extended mag, so you're not reloading quite as often as you otherwise would, it gives you a really nice balance. Now when I'm playing with an SMG, I tend to use the Commando division armed with the Hunker and the Hustle basic training. Hustle in order to get a bit quicker reload, and Hunker to give me some protection from the grenades. If I'm going after headshots, then I want my aim to be good, and so I don't want to be running around all over the place. I want to be concentrating and aiming up properly. Airborne can achieve exactly the same thing because you get all of the benefits of Hustle straight away with it. So if you use that with Hunker, then that could have the same effect. Now when you're done with the headshots, there are still some other challenges that you need to perform. The first of the camo challenges after the headshots is the M1916. And what you need to do with this one is you need to get 10 payback medals. Now what this means is that once you die, you have to then kill the guy that killed you, and you'll be given a payback medal. Now there's not much to this, and it'll just all happen pretty naturally, so there's nothing really special that you need to do for that. After this is the Snow Camo Challenge. For this, you've just got to get 50 kills using the Airborne division. Now, as I said before, if you arm the Hunker basic training alongside Airborne, then you won't find this much of a problem at all. After this is the Cheetah Camo Challenge, which is much of the same thing really. You just need to get 50 kills in something other than the Airborne division. So for this, I just switch back to the Commando division and then take along the Hustle and Hunker basic trainings like I demonstrated before. And again, this is no real problem. The next challenge is the Bronze Challenge, and for this one you need to get at least 2 kills in rapid succession of each other 5 times. Now there are a few techniques that you can use for this, so let's take a look at that. Now what you'll see here is I'm using quite an aggressive run and gun technique, and I'm also, as I go around corners, I'm kind of starting to fire just just before I go around the corner, and that just kind of seizes the initiative of the gunshots from the opposition. If they're sat there just waiting for you, then they will start firing just as they start to see you appear, whereas if you beat them to the punch by shooting just before or as you go around a corner, then you take the initiative away from them and you'll get way more kills that way. The last camo challenge you need to perform for SMGs is the Copper Challenge, where you need to get 5 kills without dying 5 times. Now this is way more difficult to get than the other challenges, and you need to change your gameplay style a little bit. The problem with the run and gun style is that you'll tend to die quite frequently. So instead, what you really want to do is do what I'm doing here, where you want to camp out a little bit. I'm just hiding behind this crate and then just picking people off as they come around the corner. With the 5 kills without dying, it doesn't matter sort of how quickly you get them in order, so long as you get them without dying in between. Now, you saw me pick up a bloodthirsty medal a little earlier on there, where it showed I got the 5 kills without dying, and then I went on to use requisitions to boost the kill count and, you know, kill people with glide bombs and fighter pilots and artillery and everything. Now the problem with that is all of those requisitions, they don't count towards your 5 kills without dying, so just make sure when you're going through this game, just make sure that you get your kills with the SMG, and you don't worry too much about the requisitions. So there you go. Once you're done with all of those camo challenges, then the gold camo will unlock, and then once you've completed gold for all of the SMGs, then diamond will unlock. Just bear in mind that with a run and gun technique in Call of Duty, you're going to die more often, so don't get too precious about your kill death ratio, and you'll get through all of these challenges absolutely no problem, and you'll be well on your way to Chrome. Thanks very much for watching, and keep your eyes out for my next video in the Road to Chrome series.